Well, I want to bring in Robin Cross, and he is with StoneX in Chicago. He's our regular contributor that talks about the lumber market, and we have some exciting stuff going on in lumber. Robin, how many times have you and I talked over the past few years when we are making like contract highs or lows or record moves or something? And today I think we're looking at new contract highs again. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, Marlon. And, we're coming up on 4 years, you and I together. You believe it's been that long? And the fact of the matter is you and I have made more records, I think, in this single market on our little Thursday morning talks, I swear, than any other market in history. So you're precisely right. We're back at contract highs, so we'll go through the prices a little bit. Now, remember, we got expiration tomorrow, and while I'm on the topic, the exchanges are closed Monday for Martin Luther King Day. If you remember, we got burned on our New Year's Day this year, so it looks like they gave us Martin Luther King Day, which we normally don't get. So we got a good 3-day weekend in front of us, so expiration is tomorrow. So January came in today. It only had 136 remaining contracts versus March's 1,823 contracts for a grand total, which is a little better than it's been, but it's still pretty terrible historically speaking, 2,445 down 59. So the prices right now, we got Jan coming in at 1227.20. I have to really read them carefully because it's like a tongue twister to me because we're so high. That's up 15.20 with only 22 trades today. March, your now lead is sitting after making the 13.12 contract high. It's sitting just off that high at 12.85. That's up only a measly $1 today with 122 trades. The market's definitely starting to feel stretched out to me up here at contract highs, and we'll get into that a little bit. Let's do a little recap. So November 15th, January's low was $531. We were on the air together, basically, same thing, right? Making history in the opposite. And then today's high in November got up to 1244.70. Okay, that's up 713 points in 8 weeks. In cash cars, that's a difference. If you were a cash buyer, you got to literally pay $78,000 more for that same car you could have got in the middle of November. March, is your now lead, rallied from its 640 low on that same day, up 672 points to 1312. Today's high, that's a gain of $73,000 a contract. And I was going through this stuff trying to put together a little something for you guys today, and I said, why did we rally so hard? Why is this such a big parabolic move? Okay, so let's look at the facts. We had decent demand from favorable weather. Okay, that's worth a little something. Transportation. And now I want to talk about transportation for a second, because do you realize, as many years as we've been on the air, this is why you see so many records. This is our 4th consecutive year of some sort of major transportation disaster in British Columbia. You would think CN and BNSF would get these things figured out. That is our number one drain on this market. And the number one reason guys got to pay up, it's always because of transportation. And I don't see where the pushback is and where the demand is to get these systems more efficient. It's just we're not seeing it yet, and something like that will take a lifetime, right? Market definitely still remains in an overbought situation, as I mentioned. But what I am definitely starting to see is major consumers, the Lowe's, the Home Depots, the big dogs of the world are really starting to push back a little bit because, they're looking at their pile and they're saying, hey, Rob, I could have bought this at $530. You mean to tell me I got to pay $80,000 more for that same material with roughly the same demand? So there's not a lot of love on that side. So I definitely suspect as soon as January gets off the board, you're going to see a big correction as we had for the last 4 contracts. The last 4 contracts went way up. When did that happen? The second one, when it became lead, each broke on an average around $250, right? So lastly, we got random length print came out yesterday at $11.60, so that puts a board up to $152 premium. And, I think that's a great basis opportunity. We just need some leadership. Guys got to look and say, hey, you can make literally, almost $150,000 in hedges just by being cool. We know the one thing that's certain in lumber is that we converge, and I suspect this will do the same. Wow. And to quote the great Ronald Reagan, just say no. If the prices don't seem right, back away. You know the market's going to have peaks and valleys, and there will be a much better time to buy. You know, when the number one reason from customers tell me why they buy is because it rallied last year, that's a nonsensical reason, and you got to look at what we need for this year. So that's where we're at, good buddy.
All righty. Well, thank you. I appreciate your realistic spin on things and the way you look at that lumber market. That's excellent stuff. Thanks for joining us here this week. More contract highs with Robin Cross yet again. We'll chalk up another one. We'll be back in a moment. I'll get you updated on our livestock trade on a Thursday coming up.